Hello and welcome to another Prestige Market Update. It's January 2026, so this is our first market update of the year. As always, we're joined by Nicole Hardwick, our Head of Purchasing. Hi Nicole, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Really well. So, as always, we're going to go through some categories and hopefully bring you some good news this time, I hear, Nicole. Is that right?
It is. So I know the last podcast we did was very much looking towards the year ahead, but I wanted to kick off our first FPI podcast of 2026 focusing on some good news.
That is great. That is what we like to hear. So what category is the best thing that we're going to talk about? What about meat and poultry? Is there some signs of improvement in that one?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I know it appeared almost every podcast last year, but meat and poultry, it's still running at over 6% inflation year on year. So if we look at poultry, it does remain volatile because of the ongoing avian flu disruptions. But in spite of this, we are seeing meat prices stabilize across the category, which is that welcome news we've been waiting for. Certain beef cuts are even reducing as demand shifts, which is good news. So we are really hoping that that good news continues in the category as we move into the next couple of months.
Great, that sounds good. We could all do with that, I'm sure. And what about dairy? Now, I know there's some issues in the dairy category, but I think there's some good news as well, is there not?
There is. So for FPI purposes, milk, cheese, and eggs are all grouped together. But in terms of price movements, there really is a split between eggs and then the other products that we would put into the dairy category. So worldwide, dairy prices, they dropped sharply in December. So butter, milk, and certain cheeses all weakened, which is great news. But eggs, on the other hand, there are still internal supply pressures and that continued volatility in egg production, and that's linked to avian flu. So we're still seeing some increases creep in on that front, but it's great news for the rest of the dairy category.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I suppose we should probably look at fruit and veg. Now, I know we're in the winter season, so there's some changes and difficulty in there. Can you give us a little update on that one?
Absolutely. So vegetables were down year on year by just over 2%. So even though we did see that small uptick in December, seasonality is the main story here. So winter always tightens the supply for certain crops. There is snow on the ground at the moment in Spain, for example. So be prepared for that to filter through if you've not locked in summer and winter pricing. Fruit's a different story. So inflation rose again, up 2.5% year on year. As always, it remains one of those more pressured categories in winter. So for both fruit and veg, we would recommend sticking to seasonal produce where possible. So if you can, please don't put strawberries on your menu in the winter.
Yeah, no, definitely not a good idea. Good. Okay, is there anything else we should be looking at, or are we good there?
Yeah, I don't really want to dampen the mood and talk about fish. I think we've mentioned that enough. But the same story still stands. Work with your suppliers to have a look at what different whitefish species you could use, and if there is any movement, we'll absolutely keep you updated.
Wonderful. All right, well, thanks very much, Nicole. As always, if you're interested in finding out more about any of these topics or want any help with your supply chain or purchasing, do visit our website, www.prestige-purchasing.com, and we will see you next time. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you.